morning, everyone. Today we will be comparing the four components of Singapore to our country. First, we are going to compare the teachers in the Singapore to our country. Teachers are professionals who were trained to share the knowledge they acquire through years of studying to a new generation of students. So depending on their specialization, they may either teach at a preschool, at a primary school, or at a secondary school. So those with additional training may also go on to teach at educational institutions that cater students who has special needs such as autistic, deaf, and mute children. So here in the Philippines, there are different employers that may require different courses or degrees for those interested in becoming a teacher. But before you can get this teaching job in the Philippines, you should be a LET passer or licensure examination teacher passer, as this is one of the requirements in the field of education. So the standard teaching credential in the Philippines is a 4 years bachelor's degree. Elementary school teachers are qualified through a bachelor's of elementary education, and secondary school teachers through a bachelor of secondary education. So in the Philippines, if they want to teach in secondary education, they must have either a bachelor's degree in education, which a major and a minor, an equivalent degree, but also with a major and a minor, or a bachelor's degree in arts and or sciences, at least 18 education units for teaching high school. So here in the Philippines, the mandated working hours of a public school teacher are not exempt from the 8 hours workday provided for in the Republic Act number 1880, that is 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or a total of 40 hours a week work schedule. So this is cited from section 1A of the Civil Service Commission 080096, which was based from CSC resolution number 945814 and CSC resolution number 911019. So now at this moment, let us compare them to the teachers in the Singapore. So in Singapore, all teachers receive trainings on Singapore curriculum at the country's National Institute of Education at Nanyang Technological University, either in a diploma or a degree course depending on their level of education at entry. So teachers in Singapore are entitled to 100 hours of professional development per year. These may be undertaken in several ways. Courses at the National Institute of Education focus on subject matter and pedagogical knowledge and led towards higher degrees. In Singapore, each school has a fund through which it can support teachers' growth, including the development of fresh perspectives by going abroad to examine aspects of education in other countries. So the teachers in Singapore are assessed annually after 3 years of teaching to see whether they have the potential for the different career paths, which are the master teachers, the specialists in curriculum or research, or school leader, each with salary increments. So the teachers that have been seen with the potential to be school leaders are moved to the middle management teams and receive training to prepare them for their new roles. So the middle manager's performance is assessed for their potential to become assistant principals and later on become principals. So Singapore puts energy into the front end of recruiting high quality people and giving them good training and continuous support. That's why Singapore doesn't have the problems of massive attrition and persistently ineffective teachers and principals that plague many systems.
Good day everyone, my name is Ria Berha and I'm here to discuss to you the differences between the students in Singapore to the students here in the Philippines. First, we have the students in Singapore. Every child in Singapore has the opportunity to undergo at least 10 years of education. This comprises 6 years of compulsory primary education and 4 years of secondary education. While here in the Philippines, K-12 program covers kindergarten and 12 years of basic education, 6 years of primary education, 4 years in junior high school, and 2 years in senior high school. It is the way to provide sufficient time for mastery of concepts and skills, and develop lifelong learners, and prepare graduates for tertiary education middle level of skills development, employment, and entrepreneurship. In Singapore preschool, they desire outcome of their students or their child's ability to listen, speak with understanding, where to communicate were to communicate effectively in English and mother tongue language. Same here in the Philippines, learners learn alphabets, numbers, and colors through games and songs and dances in their mother tongue language. In Singapore, students go through a 6 years aim at giving them a good grasp of English language, mother tongue language, and mathematics. In the Philippines, the grade 1 to 3 used mother tongue language except Filipino and English subjects. And grade 4 to 6, it already used Filipino and English language. All throughout of this discussion, we noticed the differences between of these two countries on providing basic education to their students. And on the differences, we can also notice that there are also similarities of these countries on providing basic education to their students and how they give an opportunity to every students that they have.
Now let's go to the salary of the teachers in the Philippines and in the Singapore. So first, let's tackle the salary of teachers in the Philippines. So the salary of the teachers in the Philippines are based on their position. Just like for example, the position of the teacher 1 to teacher 3 their salary ranges from 23,877 to 28,276. And there are new positions added. The teacher 4 to 7, their salary ranges from 30,799 to 39,986. Now let's proceed to the master teacher 1 to 3 position. Their salary ranges from 43,681 to 54,251. Next, the head teacher 1 to 3 positions, their salary ranges from 30,799 to 48,313. And the principal's salary, or the principal 1 to 4 positions, their salary ranges from 48,313 to 68,415. And lastly, the assistant school principal, position 1 to 3, ranges from 43,681 to 54,251. Now let's proceed to the salary of the teachers in the Singapore. So based on my research, the salary of the teachers or the workers in the Singapore depends on their MOM's parameter. So they have 3 qualifications. These 3 qualifications are the work permit holders, the S-Pass holders or the middle skill worker, and the E-Pass holders, which are for the managerial positions or executive positions or ITs. So the teachers in the Singapore belongs to the S-Pass holders or the middle skills worker. So their salary ranges from 2,700 to 3,400 Singaporean dollar, which when we are going to convert it in the Philippine peso, it will be 98,000 to 125,000 pesos. So they also have their salary also increases or increased based on their performance, and they are also given increment yearly or upon the renewal or at the end of their contract.
So let's discuss the comparison of policy of teachers in the Philippines and in the Singapore. It is unviable that at the moment the place and standing of Singapore in the little harder at the lower than the Philippines, where it is logical to attribute the differences to the efficient and industrious nature of the Singaporean people. Due caution should be observed in drawing such as conclusion in the face of an inextricable web of the different situations that we have faced both countries over time. In addition, both countries have faced serious economic upheavals in the last century that clearly define the future of each nation. These are not without economic ramification on each nation. This article explores the consideration that two countries are different. To begin with, Singapore has an invariably low unemployment rate at 1.9% as compared to the Philippines. Arguably, the higher GPD of Singapore in excess of $67,000 contributes to this phenomenon. As a result, a person living in Singapore is much likely to make 13.3 more money in playing their usual trades, the one who would make while in the Philippines. When employees make more money, the resulting indication is the fact that the country's businesses will be performing better and with positive projected income margins. Singapore, on the other hand, has been lauded as the best place where one can do business with ease. Among the factors that are considered to reach this conclusion is safety. Of course, safety has to do with the progress of country in significant ways. For instance, businesses, property, and people have to be safe in order to normally function. Filipinos pay higher taxes than Singaporeans, according to BusinessAsia.com. A comparison of taxes in a number of nations revealed that the corporate income tax in the Philippines stands at 30% based on the taxable profit. This figure can be termed unfair when compared to Singapore's. It's 17%. Further, employer-based contributions for its workers are based on their gross salaries stands at a single figure of 16%. In Singapore as compared to the Philippines. It's 2.89 to 6.50% for Social Security contributions, 1.16% to 1.19% for health insurance, and a host of other taxes that comparably raises to the figure to that of more than the 16% charged by Singapore. In addition, the threshold value-added tax, or VAT, is 12% in the Philippines as compared to Singapore's, with the significant variation in tax have led to clarion calls for tax reforms in the Philippines. Objectively, higher taxes are torn off the investments and greatly hamper the developmental idea of the Philippines people. The cost of healthcare. It is undeniably that the economy of Singapore sustains its medical facilities and makes them some of the most efficient and effective. Nevertheless, that does not come without cost implications on the consumers of the medical services of the country. According to the World Health Organization, or WHO, a Singaporean is likely to spend 20.4 times on access to healthcare than a typical person in the Philippines. The implications may include, but not limited to, significantly higher medical cover premiums, higher cost of pharmaceutical products, and better service quality. An average Filipino may not, after all, access the quality of medical care that Singaporean may be entitled to.